Hey, welcome to one more live stream doing some Elixir. Yeah, so this time let me share my screen, go straight to what actually matters, right? So yeah, this time we're going to do some configuring around the coins project. I normally do this kind of first steps on a new project. I didn't do this and this one because I want to focus a little bit on live view first. But I feel now it's actually time to make this organized and clear, you know, like use the tools that I want to use to actually I feel like if I start adding more and more features on this project, we're going to be like taking 10 more lives maybe, and after that we will take 4 or 5 live streams to actually make it better, like make it look better. And I don't like to do that. I like to make it better since they want. So yeah, let's do that. First thing, let's actually start a tmux session. So yeah, let's check out a new branch called tools. Yeah, I'm gonna configure a lot of stuff in this branch probably. So yeah, let's see. Let me see, can you see me? Well, yeah, you can. All right. Is my microphone going? Yeah, it is. Sure. Yeah, let's keep moving on then. First things first, I do want to run the tests here. And I didn't happen to know that Elixir has a built-in coverage on mix tests. If I'm not mistaken, if I run mix help test, is it? Or yeah, I'm not mistaken, you can do this dash cover, but that's not the actual. So test coverage configuration accepts the following options: output, export. All right. Let me see the command line options here. Dash cover, runs cover to see coverage section below. All right. Coverage section. The test coverage configuration accepts the following options: output tool, the coverage tool, summary, export, ignore modules. By default, a very simple operator around the TP cover is used as a tool, but it can be everything as follow. All right, let's see how does that goes. Is it cover? Yeah. All right, 77% of coverage. Yeah, let's, how can I actually, all right, it's generated on the cover. Is there index? No. So let's see coins brokerage .html, right? So, oh, cool. It actually pre-prints it. I like the sad face, like none. Like, wait, what? Oh, right, this, interesting. So the create transaction, no one calls to create transaction without sending the attributes, it looks like. So what I'm going to do is to actually remove this. So coverage is going to get a little bit better. So yeah, let's do it. Brokerage, no, brokerage, what line is that? 81, right? So if I do this, and then I run mix test cover, it should increase a little bit already. Yeah, 78. Let's continue doing it then. Search account is not used. Yeah, I added that the last time and I never actually used it. Like it doesn't have a test even. So what I'm going to do is to write a test for that on the brokerage tests. Oops. Here, search, right. It's search account, right? Yeah. Test search account one. Is it one? It's two. Returns a list of accounts that start with the given query string. Let me create two accounts fixtures. Yeah, I can send the attributes. Yeah. Name. Let me call it A1 and A2. Bank and cash, right? So if I call brokerage search account by BA, it should return A1. Otherwise, it should CA should return A2. Let me actually call bank and bash. Bench should return bank and BA should return A1 and A3. Just to have. Hey Toddy, hey, welcome back. Thank you for watching. So yeah, some testing here. Let's cover. It passed 80%, a lot better, and it got green. Interesting. What is right? The create account one also never used without. So right. All right. Increase it to 100%, the brokerage. 100%. Let's see let's do it for all the coins first, and then we go to coins web. So coins application. Let's actually open it from here. Open cover elixircoins.application HTML. Yeah, this actually is not going to be called because it's not a test environment thing. Like this config change here, if I search. Right, this one doesn't actually matter that much. Sadly, it's gonna stay red because there are not many lines in this particular. But yeah, that function is called when whenever the application is updated. its code is kind of a callback, right? So yeah, okay, let's keep going. Coins applications, coins data case. Why data case is actually not being used? Open cover data case. Oh, errors on. Yeah, errors on. I should actually use it. Because it's interesting, like to actually match this. Let me see. On transaction, or even on brokerage test. Invalid. All right, it's invalid, but I want also to match this and assert errors on change set equals empty map. Let me see what is going to fail. Like what I'm doing here is basically just include so I can make sure it's up to around 85-90%, I guess, right? So then I can go on and but yeah, this is what I'm showing you, like mix test dash dash cover. You can run coverage this way, and you don't even need to actually configure other tools. You can use the one that's built in, and if I'm not mistaken, you can configure like is it a personal project or you're contributing to open source again? No, that's a personal project though. That one is a personal project. It's a personal finance manager, actually a personal asset manager from assets and liabilities, you know. So yeah, I actually did 3 or 4 live streams back in the day, creating this project using live view on it, and right now I'm basically adding the tools and configuring tests, configuring the tools that I really like to configure on every single project that I do, because I think like they are the things that guarantee, that make sure that I'm not going to introduce bad code or this kind of stuff. So today I'm going to just write some tests, add Credo, add Muzak probably too, add maybe also even deploy and configure the CI, add dialyzer, the whole set of tools. Like really, it's a little bit free of the set of tools that I'm going to configure today. Probably not going to configure all of them today, but anyways, yeah, let's keep going on. If I run now, it's going to fail. And account ID can't be blank, amount can't be blank. Ready? Is it transactions there? Actually, let me do this. Copied, paste. Yeah, the account and the amount can't be blank. That's perfect. Nice. I watched the previous videos on YouTube later. Yeah. The previous ones are more related to actually adding some features there. What we have for now is basically the brokerage context, and inside here there are the transactions, which is the list of transactions that you do on your brokerage accounts, and the accounts, which are the places that you move money to, you know. In the future, I'm going to add assets to inside those accounts. So, and assets will have like we have the name, acquisition date, the expected annual return, maybe taxes even, and the account they're on. So yeah, the idea is that is to manage your investments a little bit better. Like I'm going to use it myself actually, because I do use a personal finance manager, but it's not very good for tracking investments, and I feel like I miss a little bit some features that will make my life a lot easier, like to compare, hey, this is what I expected it to be, and this is what actually, how it actually went. So I invested on these stocks, and I expected it to be more than it's actually getting, you know. So yeah, that's the idea. Hopefully it's going to be useful to someone else too, but the idea of doing it on a live stream is that I really want to show off like how I do stuff and actually learn with you guys too, because I already learned a lot on the open source contributions while I was doing that. There were some people a lot smarter than me that were watching. It was pretty cool. So yeah, let's focus on maybe coins web and channel case, because I feel like, all right, this one is not mostly unit testing. Like the tests that I have for now, they are already they are the ones generated by the the Phoenix generators, you know. So they are kind of integration slash unit, because they do go to the DB. I would like to have real unit tests, like functional, in the future in this project. But I mean, there the as there is the DB involved, the functions there are not pure. Let me check here. Mix help. What's the test, right? The cover option also has export summary to output. Summary attribute configuration can be either a boolean or a keyword list. When a keyword list is passed, you can specify a threshold. Default threshold 90. All right. I'm going to default the threshold to 80, so it's not going to fail, because I don't want to actually add that much tests, because I do want to show you something else also about coverage, because I do know a lot of people that say, hey, you have to have 100% coverage or at least 90%. And I did this on another live stream. I showed of Muzak, and I do want to show you how this can be a shot in your foot, you know. So project, what's the actual, is it test coverage? Right, test coverage, and then summary. Actually gonna put this in the end, and I don't need it to break lines. All right, so now it's not going to fail anymore, and I'm not going to, oh right, I did put 90 again. Like I'm going to get a little bit more green lines. Yeah, so I do want to make all of these green too, but yeah, let's start by coins web. How is it? Open cover coins web HTML, and in here there's only one function, which is this one, apply. I feel like we don't actually need to test this. Like this module, for those who don't know, this is generated by the Phoenix new generator, and the idea here is to actually be able to use coins web, and then you pass another parameter like this. Let me show you. Like what controller? No, there's no controller. Live view, for example, live page live. So like this, right? So this one is going to call this using macro, and it's going to apply the function which has the name that you send here. So for this one, it's basically gonna call this. So basically doing this is the same as doing this in here, you know, doing this in here, and that's it. Like, because that happens at compilation time they use. So I don't want to actually have to do that whole thing to actually have to test that, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write a test for AT1 def test. I mean, there's no point on actually testing it, not doing it. Sorry. One of the reasons I think there's actually no point on actually testing this is that maybe in the future I don't even want to use this whole thing here, like, because there's, like, for example, this controller method here. Hopefully you never get to use it, because I don't want to have any controller here. So the same for view, right? So live view, okay, live component, okay, router, I'm going to use channel, maybe, not really sure, and view helpers is used by those other ones. But even though it's kind of useful, I feel like it's too much magic. I do like when it's I have very explicit, like, hey, this module, this is the things I import, and these are the alias I declare, and that's it, you know. Because when I use somewhere, there's some magic involved, you know. Something it's going to happen at compile time, and that something might maybe surprise you, because a lot of things are going to be imported, maybe even methods are going to be, and they are going to be. I'm almost sure Phoenix View, for example, creates a lot of methods for you. The router one also creates a lot of methods. The use Phoenix router here. This creates like another module even. Like the router helpers module, the path helpers are created when you use router, you know, in compilation time. Which is good that Phoenix actually has that, does that for me, but I feel like the other stuff, they could be totally imported once and for all, and that's it. So I'm not going to test this, because I might even remove this in the future. Actually, yeah, that's it. Next would be channel case. I don't have any channel, so I feel like I'm gonna delete the channel case. Lib, no lib, test, support, channel case. Done. Like, by deleting it, I increased the coverage for sure. So the repo, what did I miss on repo? Oops. Def module. Wait, what? Why? Uh, do anyone have any idea why the def module line like is considered an executable line, like a line of code? Because it actually, okay, it is a line of code that defines a module and it runs at compile time. That's the problem. And this also runs at compile time, and this went and this not. Wait, really? Okay. Layout view, same probably. Layout view, coins web layout view. It's really the same. The inverse now. Okay. Okay. User socket, probably the same. No, this one never actually got a connect. It's basically because I'm not using the socket anyway. I'm not sure if I can actually delete it. Socket. Because, like, yeah, live is the live socket, and socket is the user socket. The one that I would use for channels, but as I don't use it, I'm going to remove it. I'm going to also do the same on the web there, like clean up the project, like remove a lot of the code that's like, I know I'm not going to have controllers so soon, I know I'm not going to have views so soon, and I always can actually look up on history and get it back if I want. I'm not going to get any channel so soon. The router doesn't even need to be this way, like why, right? Why having it like that? Oops. Here. All right, so live components and live view, those are the ones that I'm leaving it like this for now. Let's see if mix test cover gets a little bit more. Coins web view. Where? Oh, on layout view. All right, so the view is used. Just a controller and router. I did copy the actual code there. Channel I'm not gonna use for now. Access cover. All right. 83%. And layout view, already saw that. Error view. Finish control set image from template. Oh, open cover web error view. Right? Yeah, the same use thingy there. Not sure why it's considering a line of code. Like, why some of them are lines of code, why some not. Like, actually, all of them are, but not sure why it didn't consider it actually called it. Like, maybe because on the tests, when it starts tracking if the line got called when the tests start to run and not actually when you're compiling it, and because this is only called on compilation time. Yeah. Not sure why this is called 4 times though. Then, like, why? What happens that this is called 4 times and this never? All right. So application, I already saw that. Telemetry, maybe. Yeah. Anyways, 82% total. That's good enough for me. removing some generated code, adding and increasing coverage a little bit. Right? So what I want to show you off is how this metric can actually make you think everything is all right, it's okay, 83% of my code is tested, and maybe actually probably not. So what I'm going to do is going to add, oops, let me close all these tabs. I'm going to add this devhonestes Muzak library to my depths. Whoops. Right, and I'm going to set the preferred env Muzak to test. Yeah, right. And I'm going to run mix Muzak or mix steps get, right, to get the dependencies that I just added, and then mix Muzak. Mix Muzak. So what this actually does, this Muzak, it's a library for mutation testing, and what it does is it changes a line of your code, like just one little thing, and then it runs the whole suite. And there's a problem, I can see it right now. Like something should be failing already, but it's not. I'm almost sure it's because I'm on Elixir 1.12 and that's bad. Anyways, it changes a little bit the code, runs your whole test suite, and expects a test to fail because you actually changed the code. If no test failed after changing the code, it means your tests are not testing that specific code. And as you see, it ran for all the tests, and it says, hey, everything's okay, because all tests failed. And all tests failed because I'm on Elixir 1.12, probably. Yeah, I'm on Elixir 1.12. Last two versions? No. F local. I really would like to keep on 1.12. Call Erlang 24. Let me migrate to 24. I would like to go to 1.12, but I probably would not be able to run Muzak for now. I did open an issue for Muzak and Elixir 1.12. I saw that problem on another day that I was configuring Muzak. I actually opened Elixir forum because on Muzak the issues here are not enabled. So if any one of you actually could do it, like go here and upvote this. So yeah, last time it got updated, it was January 10. I'm almost sure it's because something changed on the inner functionality of Elixir that this library actually relies on. When I was trying it out, I actually got to the point, like I got one or two places that could actually be the problem. So mutator, no, not that one. where the runner, like I was debugging this and it looked like was a problem on loading the tests, you know, like it was failing to load the test and actually not failing the test per se. So yeah, in here you can see that it's still really good, which is not very good. Like it's still not working as expected. I was expecting a lot more failures, but here on brokerage, the mutation that they executed its transaction was mutated to reject, and nothing failed, right? Everything worked, and that's a proof that no test is actually testing this, right? Because they changed the code and it didn't fail. So in a sense, mutation testing is testing your tests more than it's actually just testing like the coverage, you know, because the coverage is just a proof that, hey, there is a test that ran and went through this line, but it's not proof that there is a test that ran and actually checked this line of code is doing what it's supposed to do, you know? So that's the difference of mutation testing and coverage. One other difference is that mutation testing is a lot slower because it changes a little bit of your code, runs the whole suite, changes a little bit, runs the whole suite. So it changes for my code base, it did 181 times, right? So it ran my suite 181 times. It's okay because my suite is very small, so it took 52 seconds. But if my suite took like 10 seconds to run, it'll take 1800 seconds to actually finish. So that's a lot. While the coverage runs the tests only one. So I think it's maybe having both on your CI is a good combination, but the Muzak one, maybe run it periodically only on top of master or something like that to make sure that you're not decreasing on your coverage, right? And for test coverage per se the lines coverage, you can actually put on your default CI to run on every branch. That was my intention here. Well, as you see, even Muzak is not working well. I might have some trouble configuring. So here there's more description to my and thank you. Not sure if you came from here, Jet, but yeah, thank you for liking it. I'm not sure if so yeah, that one has never actually answered. Let's hope it gets fixed because Muzak is really a nice library and I'll really enjoy to use it on my project, but I suspect I'm not going to do because I also do want to keep on Elixir on the 12. So I'm going to remove the tools versions and check out everything, remove Muzak. So you put this before PR and CRE workflow. Not sure what you mean, Toddy. Put this on before a PR on CI workflow. You mean the mutation testing? As I said, it's pretty slow. Like it can take forever. Like even depending on how many tests and how slow are your tests already, it can take up to an hour or two maybe. So I'll not put that as at least not as a required step on your CI before going to master. Yeah, I'll not put that. What I would do on CI is to configure scheduled like once a day or once every 2 days to run separately just this, you know. That's what. Yeah, I did. Great topic to stream. Testing is something I'm still getting comfy with, so this is great to see. Yeah. Yeah, I do like testing. I do like this music. I love it. I loved it. I would really like to edit here. I mean, let's try a little bit harder, right? Why not? Let's try a little bit harder. Elixir 1.12. 1. Actually, let's try a little bit harder on Elixir 1.12. Oops. All right. So let's compile. Just make sure everything compiles on dev. It compiles. And mix music. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my tests here. Let's see the error view test because there are not many. I'm going to put an IO puts executed, right? And I'm going to go to the test config and I'm going to enable to the debug level. So that IO should be printed then, right? So when I run mix music, if nothing gets printed, because if I run mix test, something should get printed. Like the executed should be printed at least once. Let's see. Oh, that's the problem at the debug level. Maybe info. Yeah, it got printed, executed. Let me see on warn level. Because if I'm not mistaken, it prints it too. Yeah, it prints it too. It prints it before everything else? Like, is it the first one that gets executed ever? Or is it because maybe because the dots here are printed asynchronously? Yeah. So yeah, let's go. If I do mix music and the executed never gets printed, gets printed, it means the tests are actually not even called, not even executed, right? So a lot of tests are failing, right? But probably because they are never executed per se. Let me try to check, because if I'm not mistaken, there's a debug and var for music. Dev honestes music. Debug. All right, so yeah, debug. If I set debug to 1 and run mix music, I'm gonna get a lot more printed. All right, see, a lot more printed. Let me just stop, and you can see here already that, all right, the first mutation here. First mutation, it changed the name, get transaction to here, blah, blah, blah. So mutating file was mutated, no dependencies of mutated file to compile, test started, it finishes in 0 seconds, 0 failures. Mostly because probably none of my tests got executed. at all. So what I did when I was investigating this the last time, I went to the runner, like what I do normally is, right, I execute a mix task called mix music. So the tasks, I do know that they are declared on mix slash tasks. Here it is. So the only thing it calls is music run. So what I can do is debug one ix minus dot mix, but also I'm going to initiate it on the mix env equals test, right? So I can run music dot run with an empty list because I don't send any argument, right? And right, it executes. So what I'm also going to do is to limit. Let me actually just do something. Vim temporary tests pxs. Right. Oops. Right. I'm just opening this to save my actual code that I execute there, because sometimes I have to queue the IX session and then I lose my history. Is it just music dot run, and the arguments, I'm gonna send one argument, which is the file that I want to actually, because that's what mix help. If I'm not mistaken, that's what it takes as an argument here. Let me check here. Config setup, run test loop, and then print report. All right, so the config setup, he gets the arguments, it runs compile with the arguments, it runs app starts with the arguments, it gets the opts, which are switches, which are the opts, mutations, seed only, dash dash only, what I want, dash dash only, and the name of the file that I want to test mutations is error view test. Actually error view, like lead web, lead koins web, error view, views, error view. Yeah, that's the one. Because then what I can do is I can just wait. Can I? Only option parser actually respects it. All right. So yeah, there's only one mutation that's gonna be done inside there. Oh, but there were one run, one mutation filing, just finished. All right, one run, one mutation run. But there were no tests ran here. All right, so what I'm going to do, this quickly turned into an open source contribution. Did you notice? What I'm going to do here is outputs executed renders 404 renders 500. All right, let me check. So I'm guessing the code that actually runs, like the function I'm calling is this one. So here is the setup, here is the runner, and here is the formatter. So I'm guessing this is what runs the tests that are not being ran. So Misak runner, right? So yeah, this is the run test outputs. Again, mutation testing. This is printed, okay. All right, the results. It goes with index on the mutations. Yeah. Prints running mutation blah of blah. This print here probably checks the debug, right? Because this is not printed when yeah, it sends the formatter. Anyway, the mutation here is the run mutation and the result probably on the run mutation, right? Okay. All right, it restarts the apps. All right, a function that gets to run silent and then print results. Starting mutation. It started this mutation. It compiled mutation, compiled dependencies, and then ran tests. This is the function, ran tests. Print test starting. Parent self, spawn, Misak test run results. Runner. It's a function sent to run tests. Here, runner, where does it come from? Come from the top level. Runner. I'll require and run. This is the function. All right. So this is the function that loads your tests after the mutations happened and run them. Like actually just loading it should actually run. Oh, I see XUnit here. Match test files. What is that? What I'm going to do what match files, right? So run tests. The test files are the first item of the first element of the run tests, the second parameter. So the test info, where does this test info come from? Probably, yeah, the first parameter from run test loop. So what I can do, run test loop, what I can do is actually load these params like this. Like, let me copy from lib here, Misak. Let me copy this. All right. All right. So it did load and run. So this set, and it did return this, right? So what I want is actually only roll this, and the second. So these are the files, the test files, probably all my test files. This is the second one, right? Because runner, the first parameter, the second one was the one that it was actually using as, wasn't it? Like run tests, is it? Yeah, test files. No, actually, yeah, it's the test files, the first parameter. But the test files come from, yeah, test info, which is the first parameter sent to run test loop. So the result of this, these are the test files that are going to be loaded. So what I'm going to do is say here, test files equals how deep is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. I'm going to save the test files like this. Oops. All right. Oops. All right. Yes. Right. Test files are here. These are the test files that we actually are going to go through and execute on run tests, right? The runner, this guy, the required and run. If I load here, match test files, these are the test files, right? So what they do is do this. Match test files. That's the only param. So yeah, this should execute, but as it's not working, probably it's not going to execute any test, right? So what I'm going to do is to actually test this case by case. Like, let's do first this, right? And check what's the result. Oops. What's the result of this? Let me just actually comment, right? And so the task elixir x unit runs, and then all right, something failed. No match over right hand side nil. But as you see, kernel parallel compiler. Oh, this is actually the error that's happening. Hello deadlock. No match. Right hand side new. No 2356. All right, parallel compiler. I think what it actually, the parallel compiler is not returning it anymore. It's not returning anything. Like, what is this returning? Oh, right, nothing, because it's erroring. So yeah, it's getting to this. Yep. That's why everything is failing, right? That's why when I run mix music, it says every task is failing, because it's failing to compile my tests. Because of Elixir, something on Elixir 1.12 changed that this code doesn't work anymore. Let me see on Elixir 1.11 what's happening, right? ESDF local Elixir 1.11. Everything is going to recompile because it's in another Elixir version, so all right. Okay, it then ran, so that's the catch. So let's do it like this then. It ran. It's still not failing nearly as much as it should be. Now we're talking. Maybe it was not failing before when I installed 1.11 because I was still running on 1.12. So anyway, you saw a little bit of how I do try to solve problems on a daily basis. Like when something happens on this crazy lib that I'm using, not crazy, but like on this lib that I'm using, and I really do not know why, I really dig into the code like this. That's really common to happen. And yeah, Muzak is still not working with Elixir 1.12, so unfortunately, yeah, Toddy, thanks for loving it too. Not sure if 2 is gonna be enough though, but yeah, a lot of stuff popped up, like for example, as you can see, like this live transactions thingy here, if it's changed to something else, no test is guaranteeing this, right? And if I check, probably if I check on mixtest cover with open cover koins web router .html, if you check that line, for example, which is the same line as this, like 26, line 26, it got tests over it 12 times, and none of them actually checked that the actual name here is transaction. So if I change it to something else, the tests are still passing, hence why it failed here, why the mutation failed, right? It's gonna still pass, but the end user that actually tries to access this same thing is not gonna be able to, you know? So that's a proof that having coverage doesn't mean this is tested correctly. Like this actual behavior, like having this would only fail, for example, if there were a missing param here. Like this is a triarity function live, right? If you remove the whole third, for example, the whole third param, then it will fail. And probably there was some mutation where they changed index for blah blah blah, and it actually failed because there is a test that is testing that. It's just there isn't a test that is testing transactions. So that's my point. Like a combination of the two. Like I was actually expecting it to be worse. Like instead of 95%, I was expecting it to be a lot lower. But just as a proof that this MUSAC, this mutation testing thing, gets more problems, gets problems that the coverage doesn't actually get. Did you try another mutation lead since there isn't a problem with MUSAC? I never tried it. Is there another one? Mutation testing elixir. Serrano. Mutant. Oh, X Xavier, I heard of it. Mutation testing library inspired by PyTest. And what is mutation testing? What is X Xavier? And code line. When was it? Well, it was updated on November 27. Not sure if it's going to be any better though. But it might be that they use a different strategy that actually worked. I don't know. I'm okay on staying on 1.11 for a little bit, though. But yeah, let's try this out. Actually, is it hard to configure? How does Xavier work? Go like this sequentially. Take the code accordingly. Available mutator for each module in parallel. So currently I have 13 mutators, AOR. What is those? All right, the changing operations, mathematical operations, changing. All right, so how do I configure Xavier? Let's try, why not? Mix CXS, MUSAC. Let's delete MUSAC and insert Xavier. All right, and then mix Xavier test. They forgot something. Mix steps get, right? Clean to remove the old ones. Mix steps clean unused. Yeah. Mix steps get. Mix Xavier test. All right, let's see. Oh, right, I am on 1.11 though. So minus V. I'm going to make sure to remove the build test. So I'm sure it's going to be compiled with Elixir 1.12. But yeah, if this works better, the Xavier works. Xtest is running in the dev environment. If you're running tests alongside other task, not MUSAC, Xavier test. And sub analyzing, compiling. I'd really like to keep on Elixir 1.12, so if this actually works, let's do it. It didn't. I couldn't find module, coins web live account live, infer from test file. You can define coins web live, account live. You can define your overrides using test files to modules option in Xavier. All right. Overrides the default mapping to a finding module based on the file name. Test file, my test file, maybe testing module, my file ABC instead of my file ABC. All right. I see. There's gonna be a lot of those because like the you can't actually infer the name from. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Xavier EXS. ma.xavier.ess v coins web live page live test should be coins web page live test. Is it page live? Yep. And in here page live test, account live test. The account live. Then third one should be transaction live test. Transaction live. It should be account live. Coins web account live. If I'm module coins web account live. Define it. Coins web account live. Alright. Alright. Problem though is that I have two modules then. Ooh. It's actually expected to be one by one. A little bit more trickier to configure Xavier than Muzak. Right, Toddy? Error view test. Views. Oops. Error view test. Error view. And what's the other one? Layout view. Layout view. Alright, error using configuration file. Wait, what? Why? Alright. No. Zero tests, zero fail, zero passed, mutant survived. All of them failed with the render one. Was not implemented for page live. Right. Okay, the tests are not failing with this reason. Page live. It is here. Page live HTML. Pretty much as the others. Index HTML. This is be done. So Xavier live view. No. Xavier and live view. No one searched with. So it looks like Xavier. It's a little bit more. How can I say? They're a little bit smarter, and they do only try to run tests loading. So overrides the default mapping of finding a module-based showed some mutators to be done and more tests. Xavier. Mutates code in parallel per module. Mutates each module sequentially per mutator. Initial code line coverage analysis is done sequentially for all modules as a pre-processing step. It's better explained as follows. So it runs code line coverage analysis for each module sequentially, and then mutate the code according to each available mutator for each module in parallel for each module sequentially for each mutator. So mutate code, mutator, run test once again. Now against mutated code, record results. Percentage mutants survived versus killed. So 100% mutation coverage means nothing because everything is failing because of this render thing here. Not sure why, like, because mixed test is not failing. Yeah, unfortunately Xavier didn't help much Toddy. I still prefer Muzak though. So yeah, let's configure those two on CI, right? Run the test coverage and the test. No problem. I mean, it's actually good. Your question was very good because I never actually. Oh, mutant testing. Yeah, wait. Right. Mutation. Cut nodes, mutate element, run each element. Wait code. Yeah, Muzak is. It looks. Muzak looks a very. It's a tool that looks a little bit more as finished. Although it didn't work with Elixir 1.12, I don't mind using 1.11 for a while. So I'm going back to Muzak. I'm going back to local Elixir 1.11. I'm gonna remove Xavier. I'm gonna mix deps.clean unused. Mix deps.get. Oops, git AC. Adding Muzak. That's it. That's what I did. Push -u origin tools. So next up, I'm going to add the CI, right? I'm gonna use GitHub Actions because that's easy to actually configure. So set up this workflow. So GitHub Workflows Elixir YAML. I'm going to add this file. So ma.github/workflows/elixir.yaml. Flows Elixir YAML. Just CI, build and test, Ubuntu latest, checkout, setup, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to run tests and coverage, as I said. Oops, cover. Oops. Configuring GitHub actions. GitHub. All right. Comparing pull request. Tools. Never mind. Closest number test and CI. Create pull request. So yeah, this live stream is more about actually the tooling on Elixir than the tests thing, but I think tests is the most important tool that you can have in a language at all. Like, and having tools like Muzak, like the coverage there, which is built in right now. There are other stuff that are built in related to tests, like property testing. You can do property testing using the stream data module, which is quite cool too. So yeah, it's pretty cool to have a lot of tools around testing. Select, check to view. It's running, all right, running test and test coverage. 39 seconds in, compiling, Muzak, blah blah, system stock trace. So yeah, I'm gonna configure also Muzak. As I said, I don't think it's good to actually run Muzak on top of every pull request, right? But speak on connection refused, right? Phoenix, GitHub actions. Devato. So GitHub actions, mix test, configure app, creating workflow. So let's see what else he has differently. All right, Postgres. I do have to configure these services here. Let's see. Jobs, test, services. Wait. Let me copy everything and check what's different. Not really. Yeah, it should. Not for tests. I don't think so. Maybe. Let's see. Services, Postgres here. Uses checkout, setups Elixir 1.11.elixir minus v 1. That's a nice one to have to remember. And OTP version. What OTP version am I in? SP local. I guess it's 24.0 list. 24.0.2. 0.2 cache depths Chrome driver. I don't need Chrome driver yet. I don't think so actually. Chrome driver. I'm not using integration tests. Yeah. I don't need also the npm stuff. But I do want to leave it there. So display 99 Chrome driver. Removing it. Wrapping up. Okay. Updating. Exit tests for Phoenix. And cover. All right. Let's see. Yeah, the TCP connection is for 5432, so probably Postgres. I'm not sure it's Postgres. That's Postgres port. Not running. Not even running now. Why? Line 22. YAML. I do know that I actually did this. Is it that? If it is, I'm really... Two, three, five. D44. Yeah, I'm having... Let's just add Postgres to the script that we had before, right? Why keep trying? Maybe that script is actually GitHub Actions Postgres service. All right, services, container job, runs on, container, and then the services. Here, build name, runs on, services. Like a herb image, provide a password Postgres. What was the password that they had there? User password DB. Right? Right. I'm rewriting the last commit because I don't want to have dumb commits saying, hey, trying this, trying that, trying, you know, rewriting history. So I can say I was never dumb, like I made it right since day one. Okay. Now it's executing because the yellow ball, it's saying me there. Dead, right? Checks. Okay, it's probably gonna pass. What I'm going to actually want to do too is to add the music, right? GitHub periodic actions, schedule actions, scheduled actions, run your GitHub Actions workflow on a schedule. When I first heard about actions, confirm, blah, 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 schedule, cron. Bam. Perfect. Build, let's call it music. On schedule, cron. At the end of every day, every 10 minutes, steps is going to be pretty much the same. I'm going to check out, blah, 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 install dependencies, but instead of running tests, I'm running music. Yeah, it's a lot of repeated code, I know, but it's YAML. I mean, I know that you can actually use other stuff on YAML. I know also that GitHub Actions do not support every YAML feature in here. So that's why I'm not using the extend and other stuff. So run music. All right. And what I want is I want to execute it twice a day. So how can I do that? Every 5 minutes. What I can do is every 12 hours, right? Or maybe run it every 6 hours. Not sure what we want. Maybe, yeah, actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to run it every day at noon, right? Because I don't want it to name is build and run mutation tests. On top of master, but I want to actually have another workflow for it. Can I? Like instead of right? I think it's better build PRCI and this I'm going to say music or cron YAML MR MM. Right. Oops. on jobs. The on there is not here, is here. Yes, yeah. And runs on Ubuntu, the same. And also needs the services, right? It's not going to work if it doesn't. PRCI. Scheduled CI. Pull requests. I'm not even sure if this is possible, but I would like to be able to do that. So let's see. Adding user to CI. Like it would be nice to have different jobs with different periodicities, but I think the idea of the jobs is you have a workflow and you can separate in multiple jobs to run them asynchronously, for example, while a workflow is, so yeah, it's still happening. Oh no, this is the old one, I guess, or is it? Yeah, failing, still failing. Okay, so the checks and the actions here. There's the tools. Yeah, I guess we never know until we're not going to know until tomorrow noon, right? When it's going to actually execute my other cron. I'm not sure where is it going to download from, right? What it can use with it. New workflow scheduled for 15 minutes. I see. No link. Yeah. Job stale, but the latest steps. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Let's see what's happening to the actual other thing. Like Muzak, we're only gonna know tomorrow. But let's check what's happening to the test task. Oops, checks. The request CI here, didn't test. Terminated, the connection refused on 5432, localhost, not even, is it the Postgres user probably? Postgres, actually, config test, username and password. Koins test. Is it? Is it because of that? When it says the Postgres setup a list here, initialize containers, starting Postgres service. Setup, right? Yeah, it exists. When test, that should be it. Yeah, that should be. Let's see. I have to actually change it on the current one too. And let me rename this to PR. The DB name for Postgres. For CI Postgres. Yeah. I'm not sure about you, but I feel like every time I get stuck on something, it's probably something related to configuring Postgres or configuring NPM or how actually something else really crazy works, JavaScript, HTML or CSS related. Like I feel like if I was bound to only Elixir in my day-to-day work, I was gonna be 100, 200, like probably 1,000 times more productive. Like, not sure what happens with those other tools. And I mean, I do know that there's a big trend, like Sasha Yurik tries to preach that a lot too. Like, you normally don't actually need everything you do think you need. Like even Postgres, like is it really that you need Postgres, or is it just that it's the default thinking? Like, of course you need to save your information somewhere, but I mean, maybe Postgres is not the only option. Of course it's not, but maybe having a separate external database is not the only option. Like, why not just saving it in memory? Why not? Like I do think that there is a project already, SQLDB Erlang, or is it Elixir? There's like a database. Oh, SQL Server in Elixir. Now this is connecting to. That's fine. Okay, cookies. J. Bacardi. Now this is connecting to a server. Like, I did remember seeing somewhere someone that was implementing a SQL database in Elixir. Like, to start in Elixir, you add it as a library and it starts the server, and you don't actually have to serialize stuff to send to another process from this other place, you know. So the database is within your your libraries, which would be like amazing. Like, not sure why no one actually have that yet, but that's a very nice idea that I would like to see implemented in the near future. And it keeps failing on me, connection refused. I have to disconnect right now, so unfortunately not even CI is running correctly, and I really want to check out how Muzak is gonna do tomorrow. It's probably gonna fail miserably too, because if it's failing on this workflow, there's no reason why it would not fail on the other one, right? But all right. Steps, check out repository, install dependencies, connect to Postgres. Postgres port is 5432. That's the port that I'm trying to connect. Oh, Postgres host is Postgres. Ta-da! It's not on localhost because it's another. So mix the test. Yeah, it's not localhost. It's system.getenv or localhost. System.getenv Postgres host. And what I'm going to configure on these steps there is on the PR YAML env, yeah, run steps. Env is Postgres host Postgres. Want the env for all the steps to be the same. Like, can you configure the env for the whole job? I'm not sure. I don't mind. Wait, what? Is it possible to check out the repository right there? It says dependencies run script. Yeah, I don't mind doing this in here. Env Postgres host Postgres. Right. And on the cron job, Muzak also is gonna have to configure that. Configuring Postgres host for CI. Now should be okay. And the coffee is totally cold, but I do like cold coffee too. All right, so okay, running build and test. And if this passes, I'm gonna call it a day, and if it doesn't, I'm going to do it too. Wait, it's compiling. So yeah, what's gonna be probably next live I'm gonna do next Friday, but I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the tools, and yeah, I guess yeah, it's gonna run this time. I think. Let me just. Oh, didn't. Yeah, non-existing domain. Postgres. Yeah, let's try to figure this out next time then. I'm not going to finish this today. Really interesting. Why is it? Image Postgres, Postgres, password Postgres. Like there's a crazy amount of prerequisite. Run job on containers. Container job runs container. Is it a container? No, it runs on. It's a run zone. I'm not running on containers, running jobs directly and on the runner machine. It should be localhost then. Yeah. My last commit could totally be ignored. I'm using runs on. So it should be localhost. Yeah, really no idea what's happening. Oh, I have to map the port. Ports. I think that's it. Configuring the ports. Configuring Postgres port on CI. Didn't know that you actually have to configure it like this to run on the figuring the steps. Yeah. All right. Not sure why I opened WhatsApp here. Right, the checks. Did I push that? I think I did. Yeah, now ports. That's the problem. Like, I hate YAML. I really hate YAML. Yeah, should be like this. Never mind. It shouldn't. see why I hate YAML. All right, executing. You have 3 minutes. Please go. Yeah, configuring CI is always like this, you know. That's the worst part of this tooling, when you actually depend too much on external tooling, like on other stuff. And yeah. But I guess once you do it, you don't need to do that much again. So it does bother a little bit that you spend 1 or 2 hours of your day doing this, but at least this is in the future making you a lot happier, because you're not introducing as much bugs or this kind of stuff. So yeah, you're right, 86% total. Perfect. I guess this is it for today then. Next time I'm going to be adding Credo, Dialyzer, and documenting my code too, because I do like to add documentation, maybe even using a little bit of the library called Boundary or Boundaries, I don't know, Boundary. I do want to use this library for a while already, and this is the time that I'm going to use. So yeah, I guess I see you around again, and yeah, bye. Thank you for joining today.